When sugar comes to mind, you may think of chocolate bars and other types of candy, but sugar comes in many forms, from what you add to your morning cup of joe to starches like breads and rice. Chris Kavanaugh craved cookies like they were a drug.
I would actually wake up in the morning and the first words out of my mouth would be cookie. Not good morning, not hello, not I love you, cookie. And my significant other was trained to go downstairs and get me a goodie so that I would get out of bed, because I wouldn't get out of bed without it.
At the time, Chris weighed 335 pounds and was headed on the road to many health problems that could have included diabetes.
Started to need the cookie instead of eating it, to just enjoy it, to have a snack every now and then. I knew that it was time for me to give that up, that I had some type of addiction to it.
Half her body size later, Chris kicked the addiction and is now helping others as a holistic health coach, teaching people that sugar is lurking in many of the foods we eat.
With processed foods today, sugar is in everything, and it's very difficult to avoid it unless you're eating whole foods. And I think that the more chemicalized sugars go in our food, the more that the population is becoming addicted to it, not knowing that it's happening.
So why do we get addicted to sugar?
Some signals that are released in the brain, that reward signals for eating carbohydrates. And yeah, it's you become addicted to carbohydrates and they make you feel good, and you have to break that cycle by, as it were, detoxing from carbohydrate intake.
Dr. Philip Nickel with the Diabetes Center in Murrells Inlet has worked with diabetics for the last 30 years. He's seen a dramatic increase in the number of patients suffering from type 2 diabetes. Dr. Nickel says after the overconsumption of starchy foods over a long period of time, the body processes sugar into triglycerides, which causes muscles and the liver to not work properly. When that happens, it's called insulin resistance, or type 2 diabetes.
You can't properly store the sugar that you eat. So when you eat a meal and your blood sugar spikes up high, your body has mechanisms for disposing of that sugar load. And those mechanisms don't work properly when you have insulin resistance.
According to the American Diabetes Association, 26 million children and adults have the disease. That's nearly 10% of the total population, and a staggering 79 million are pre-diabetic.
We're looking at an astronomical increase in the rate of diabetes. And you know, you've heard from the politicians about the cost of healthcare, and there's just no question this disease is going to have a tremendous impact economically over the years to come.
Dr. Nichols says reading food labels, limiting your total amount of carbs to 120 grams per day, and getting moderate exercise 5 days a week will go a long way to keeping diabetes at bay, as well as other health issues.
Having a poor carbohydrate lifestyle will ultimately lead to heart disease and stroke.
As for Chris, being sugar-free has led to a new life.
I wake up in the morning, every morning I have the need to exercise instead of the need to eat something sweet. My body knows what foods it wants. I don't desire unhealthy sugars anymore.
Completely eliminating sugary treats is easier said than done, but choosing to eat nature's candy instead is a good start. In Horry County, Lisa Edge, News Channel 15.